Hey guys, so I was watching Alex's video, his review on SmackDown, and he basically stated at the beginning of it, and I think throughout later, that WWE, and he even stated it on social media too, the WWE, it might be in a bit of a dilemma. And the reason he says they might be in a bit of a dilemma is because how hot right now Sami Zayn is in this angle with Roman Reigns. And that, being in Montreal, you couldn't pick, a better setting like Elimination Chamber to do something that, honestly, he believes, and I'm sure everybody else believes, would be a huge moment for Sami. The only problem, the only conflict in that is the fact that you'd possibly be taken away from Cody Rhodes' moment. And that's something you don't want to do. The other conflict about that too is you hurt Roman Reigns before WrestleMania. And, these are situations you don't want to have to deal with if you're WWE, if you're Triple H. But here's the difference though. Triple H, unlike Vince and his creative, team, Triple H and his team, they know what to do. They can pretty much figure out, a way out of the mess hold on for a second. Sorry, almost got tongue-tied there. But the difference between Triple H and his creative team and Vince's creative team is Triple H and his creative team can pretty much figure out a way to get out of this mess. That's what I was trying to say. Like I just mentioned, almost got tongue-tied there. I do apologize. But yeah, if there's anybody that can figure this out and figure a unique, creative way out of it, it's Triple H. He can pretty much do that. And when you look at the whole Sami Zayn thing right now, I want you to think about this too. Triple H is a student of the game, as he says. He's watched a lot of film. And WWE having access to WCW's library, pretty much can look at any scenario that, and a company like WCW could come up with that would still allow for a certain superstar to get the moment. And what they could do is they could have Sami Zayn, pull a Lex Luger. That's what they could do. They could have Sami Zayn pull a Lex Luger. And what I mean by that is, as we were heading into Road Wild back in '97, Lex Luger took on Hulk Hogan on the NITRO before. Now he was already scheduled to face Hogan, at Road Wild for the championship, but they decided to push it up about, I would say, 6 days before or 5 days before to pop a rating, and also I guess kind of change the dynamics and everything, kind of show that hey, just because you think it might go this way, doesn't mean it will. And that's why things were changed. They would change to where Luger won the championship in Detroit, but then dropped it back to Hogan at Road Wild. Basically stating that, hey, it doesn't necessarily have to be the person that's chosen to do it that could get the belt off and into a superstar, a megastar like a Hogan, in the first place. It doesn't have to be, someone like, later on Sting, at Starrcade to do it. Instead, it could be someone like Lex Luger. And I look at the fact that this dilemma isn't going to be that big of a dilemma, for Triple H. Because if Triple H goes back and he looks at some of these scenarios from not just WWE's past, but other past and all that, it definitely shows that anything is possible. That you can that you could take a championship off somebody like a Roman Reigns and it wouldn't hurt the momentum. In fact, they could play up in classic heel scenario that the loss never happened. That they can, play up the fact that, hey, we have so much power, we made sure that loss was expunged from history. As, basically it never happened, it never existed. They could do that. And I think, honestly, the way they might get around this dilemma is going that route. They could give Sami his moment, at Elimination Chamber, but then have Sami drop it a week later on SmackDown back to Roman. And having him drop it back to Roman at SmackDown, on Fox, not only would pop a big rating for Fox, but you could have Roman, a week later or so, or maybe a couple of days later on Raw, come out and just act like it never happened. Just say, yeah, what you saw was, what you saw, forget about seeing it because it never happened. I've expunged it, from the record books. I have that much pull as tribal chief. That's one way they can go. That's one way they can go because, after Luger won the championship from Hogan and they lost it back, I think they kind of played it up like, the loss, on the Nitro before Road Wild never happened. Heck, WWE's done this when they had, Mankind, Mick Foley, beat The Rock on Monday Night Raw. On the Raw that pretty much changed the directive of the entire Monday Night Wars. They kind of did that there, as well as they did it, believe it or not, even after halftime heat. The two times that Rock lost the championship to Mankind and then won it back, I think in a way they played it up like, those two losses, never happened. They played it up in a very heelish way, like, hey, I'm part of the corporation, so we had those losses expunged, if you will. The point is, there's always a way to get around it. And if you want to give Sami his moment, I would not put it past Triple H and his creative team to go in this direction, to where, Sami would beat Roman, become champion, but then lose it back to Roman maybe a week later on SmackDown. And, and then after that, you could have Roman pretty much play up the fact that, yeah, that loss that you saw me suffer at Elimination Chamber never happened. You can look in the history books, never happened because I had it expunged. I have that much pull. I had it expunged. It's gone. And then by playing that up, one, you make Roman an even bigger heel than what he is. And also, storyline-wise, that gives Cody more momentum, more reasoning to want to take the belt off Roman, because he wouldn't like the idea that, hey, you're basically ignoring a moment that this guy, deserved, that this guy worked, his entire career to get it, as well as a moment that he pretty much earned after taking so much abuse from you. So yeah, they could do that. They could do that, and again, having Roman expunge the victory, make it act like it never happened, is one way again to get him some massive heel heat, because this way it makes it even more. It makes it more of a situation for fans to want to see Cody Rhodes, who's the son of the common man, the American Dream, come out and beat Roman for the title at WrestleMania, and make sure that, someone like Roman not only loses the championship, in front of an entire world on an event that he cannot ignore where it happened, but also storyline-wise, not only do you have Cody achieve his dream, but you also have him take away the power of the bloodline. You have him take away the power of Roman Reigns as tribal chief and head of the table, because now he doesn't have the championship anymore. Thus, he doesn't have the pull that he used to. So there are many ways, in my opinion, my honest opinion, that they can go to deal with this dilemma, as people call it. And I think, like I said, I think probably the best way to go is to go the way that WCW did with Lex Luger, go the way that WWF went twice with Mankind, to where you give them brief title, you give them championship wins over the major megastar. You give them major title wins over the major megastar, only for that megastar to win it back later and act like those victories never happened. You could do that here, because even though we as fans would have seen the fact that basically, hold on for a second. Sorry, I almost got tongue-tied again. But like I said, even though we as fans would have witnessed and seen that the match happened and that the moment did occur, you could have Roman Reigns play it up like it never did. I mean, another prime example is when Roddy Piper beat Hulk Hogan at Starrcade '96. What did Eric Bischoff do? As a heel, what did he do? Even though the entire world saw what happened and know it happened. Well, what I'm trying to say is, even though the entire world saw Piper beat Hogan, put him to sleep and everything, even though everybody saw that happen, and pretty much it's in the record books and everything, right? What did Eric Bischoff do when they were trying to show the world on NITRO the result, basically Piper putting Hogan to sleep, to get the victory? What did Eric Bischoff do? What did he do? He yanked the tape from production and said, "Don't ever pull the stunt again." And he basically told him, "Don't pull the stunt again, because guess what? As far as we're concerned, that never happened." And what did they do? They played it up. They played it up as heels by saying, "Yeah, Hogan beat Piper. He beat him with one finger," and stuff like that. Basically played it up like it never happened. And the loss never occurred. So again, there's various ways they can get around this. And some of the ways of getting around it is basically, like I said, having Sami Zayn pull a Lex Luger, Mankind McFoley, situation, win the belt, then lose it back to Roman maybe about a week later or a couple days later, and that's it. That's it. You have that occur, and then you have Roman with, make a power play by getting the championship victory that Sami got at Elimination Chamber expunged and everything, despite the fact that everybody would have saw it happen, all of Montreal would have saw it happen, people watching on Peacock and WWE Network internationally would have saw it happen. You could have Roman Reigns act like it never did, because you can even have him acknowledge, yeah, what you saw did occur, but do you see it in the record books? No, because I had it expunged. And because it's not in the record books, guess what? It never happened. So that's one way of doing it. That's one way of getting around it. So again, when it comes to this Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns dilemma, I trust Triple H and his creative team to find a way around it, and I think they will. I think honestly they will find a way around it, and they will make sure that not only does Sami possibly get his moment, at Elimination Chamber, but they'll also make sure Cody gets his. And they'll give Cody more of a reason to want to get his moment. They're going to give the people more of a reason to see Cody get his moment along with Sami getting his moment, because Cody will not like what Roman's pulling just to act like, hey, I never lost kind of deal. So I'm still intact. I'm still undefeated and everything, and my reign still continues. So yeah, there's many ways to get around it. And I trust Triple H. I trust him and his creative team more so than Vince or any other team creatively to make this happen. But what do you guys think? Do you think any of those scenarios I pointed out could be a direction that they go come Elimination Chamber, and going into Mania? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments as well as on the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, guys. And until next time, I'm about to pull my bus here in a little bit to get to Turlock, and I am out.